Right, the main event, we're going to probably go a little bit over a minute or two here. It feels like it's impossible not to. The main event, of course, where have you been if you don't know? McGregor and Khabib. We talked about this at length on the podcast, which, of course, you can find in the description box down below. I just can't see... I mean, I can see a path to victory for Conor, but I just can't see him winning. I think that Khabib overwhelms and overcomes, and I think it's going to be gnarly as well. I sent you the link to an interview last night where Khabib was just sitting in this very dimly lit, relaxed environment, and he was just saying some haunting shit about Conor, saying that he's going to humble him, and he was saying, he's like, I'm going to say things to him when I'm in there, like, where are your friends now? Where's the boss? You know, what about the boss now? Where are your friends? It's just you. What are you going to do now? That's some Dagestani gangster shit right there.
Yeah, that's intense.
Like a fire in a camping store.
Oh dear.
Yeah, well. Punny for the win. That's 2 in a row. What are you going to do?
Any more?
Unstoppable.
Any more while we're at it? Yeah, I like Conor. Obviously, his overall game is underrated.
Yes.
He is better on the ground than people who go, oh, he's no ground game.
Yes.
His defensive wrestling is better than people who say, he has no wrestling.
Also true.
His stand-up is obviously excellent.
Yep.
He has very good distance management.
Yep.
We know this. I just don't think it's going to be enough.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's exactly what my response is going to be. It just doesn't really matter because...
I see it going this way. So I see the first round, Conor, wide stance, taking the center of the octagon, giving Khabib things to think about, you know, that
calf kick.
Be interesting to see if he goes that and the kick to the lead knee, because whether he'll want to leave a foot out there.
I think he will, but I think he'll go for the low calf kick. He won't go for the, you know, he's not going to be chopping the whole leg down. I think it's going to be very targeted.
Even still, like, leaving those legs out there. And, like,
he's quick with it, though.
He is quick with it. So it's whether or not he can... First of all, Conor's path to victory is he makes Khabib freeze up in front of him.
And just pieces.
We've seen him do it to other fighters. We've seen Eddie Alvarez freeze up. We saw Jose Aldo not freeze up, but get over anxious and try and take his head off straight away. And, you know, that's running into a wood chipper. He beats guys before they get in the cage. And I just don't think he's done it this time.
Mm-hmm.
He gets guys a motive. Dustin Poirier got a motive. Eddie Alvarez got a motive. Nate Diaz got a motive, but pushed him. And that is where I'm basing this off. My thoughts that Khabib's going to win, because other than putting him away early, Khabib's pace does not break.
No.
Whereas Conor, he is super well conditioned. You know, he's not. I think it's more of he's a more explosive athlete. So that, you know, he's a sprinter, not a long distance runner. That's not to say he's not in shape and he's not training hard. That's just genetics most of the time. That's fast twitch muscle. You saw in the second Nate fight that he essentially had to take, was it the 4th round off?
Yep.
Or it was the 3rd or 4th, I can't remember. Essentially to have a round off without much offense to recover, to then rally, to go again, to secure the win. He will not be able to do this against Khabib. Khabib, in that interview, has said, you know, this is not boxing, this is not striking. There will be no distance between us. I will be in his face the whole time. The distance will be small. And that's, if you're Conor, that's the opposite of where you want it. Khabib will smother him with pressure, both, you know, if he gets top position in the grappling exchanges, or just walking him down. Because that's the thing. I mean, we all hear it every time Conor fights, and we are guilty of writing him off, and people have written him off in the past, and he's nearly always come up trumps. You know, what if he lands the big left? Well, yes. But what if he lands the big left and Khabib keeps coming? You know, Conor does have, like I said at the start, other facets of his game. His ground game, his submission game, like some of the sweeps he pulled off against Diaz, very impressive, high-level jiu-jitsu.
And Holloway as well.
And Holloway, in fairness, that was a good while ago now, but even still, you know, he's only got better, I would imagine. But Khabib does, you know, he puts his game on better grapplers
Oh
in
yeah,
Conor.
yeah, 100%. And on now the one question that I want to ask you about this, because I haven't seen a lot of people talking about this, and it is something that we actually can't take away from, not necessarily Conor, but his corner and his team. They have shown an immense ability to game plan.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm not factoring into this, because there's no way to quantify it, is they might potentially have seen something that we're missing. No.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
We are not professional fighters. We are not coaches.
I mean, the public, not you and I.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying that as well. Like, and you know, people are. I don't know. Like, it's hard to say who's favoring who, because, like we said in our podcast, there are characters who get such an emotive response, so people tend to be irrational in their support. So it's hard to say who's favouring who, because it's not really a rational debate when it comes to skills. It's, you know, essentially who you prefer. Oh, I'm a Conor fan, or I'm a Khabib fan. Well, Khabib's going to smash him. Oh, well, no, Conor's going to smash him.
Yeah.
It doesn't really answer anything. So we're looking at it from evidence, past fights, skill sets, and trying to be impartial with it. I think you have to favour Khabib.
Yeah, I think that you're probably right. I think that Khabib will overwhelm and I just think that he can do the things that he says he's going to do in this fight, and that's the difference. Is when Conor says that, I believe that's his intention, of course, but I think that the reality of Khabib,
I also just don't get this idea. Just because Conor has said that he is glass-jawed doesn't mean that he is.
Oh no, I don't get why people are saying, like, the only time that Khabib has ever looked, I don't even want to say chinny, but the only time that I can really think of, there was one outside the UFC. I vaguely remember him getting stunned by something, but I couldn't even tell you who that was against, so I'm not even going to count that. The only one that I can, and people go to this all the time, is Michael Johnson, but Michael Johnson can crack.
Hell yeah, he can. And then look what happened to Michael Johnson after
correct,
that.
And that's the important thing, is that it's almost like Khabib in that fight, and I rewatched it recently. It's when he got hit, he was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, right, I'm going to have to just go back to the game plan here. Yeah. And then it was Phil for Michael Johnson.
Yeah.
And I think that, in fact, that's actually a good one. That's a fight that this could look a lot like.
Absolutely.
I think that this fight actually will look a lot like that. And like, to be fair, yeah, that's, in fact, you know what? I've been calling Khabib from the beginning. I believe it more now than I did before. So I am going to stick to my guns and say Khabib. Khabib is my pick, and I think that it's either he could submit him, and I think it would look a bit like the Diaz one, where just overwhelmed, tired, and gives his back up or gives him an arm or something. It could just get dirty, though. Like, it could just be a nasty, like, those big, horrible, whippy hammer fists that Khabib was throwing at Michael Johnson, you know, and it could just look like that. And to be fair, Conor's tough. He's tough. He can take damage. Like, we saw that even in the Mayweather fight, that, you know, he took quite a lot of damage in the lead up to the moment that the fight ended. So I wouldn't put it past Conor for this beating to be quite sustained as well, due to toughness and a lack of wanting to obviously concede the fight. So I think that in some ways this fight could actually end up even worse for Conor, due to not necessarily ego, but just an unwillingness to break instead of bend, and I think that could actually make this situation worse for him. So I'm going to stick to Khabib. I am going to go with TKO through ground and pound, maybe perhaps third, fourth round, but a submission I also wouldn't look past. But I'm gonna for the sake of not being wishy-washy, because that's not what we do here, I'm gonna say Khabib.
What I will say is that Conor has performed on a bigger stage, and there is no bigger stage currently in the UFC than this fight. This is the biggest fight they will put on. Will Khabib handle that? Because Conor has been there and done that. That's what I was going when I was saying about Conor making opponents freeze. The environment might make Khabib freeze up. Now, I don't think it will, but we never know. Conor has an excellent chance, always does. His striking is excellent. The rest of his game is also very good. I just don't think it's enough. I think Conor will have his moments. He may even rock him. He may put him down. But I think, like you, the longer this fight goes, the more trouble he's in. I predicted on our podcast that I think a late, either 4th or 5th round stoppage, and I think Khabib takes an arm. I don't know why. I'm just picturing.
Yeah, we talked about that the other day, and we both sort of agree. It was like I could see him taking because I said
like an Americana
or just a key lock or whatever.
You just break him essentially.
Here's the question: if Khabib does get him in one of those submissions, does he go for breaking the limb?
I would hope not. I hope that it's still there's a sportsmanship aspect to this.
Well, one last thing just before we go. Have you heard the rumour of what Khabib's plans are for after this fight?
No.
Retiring.
Really?
That's coming directly from Josh Thompson, who is a friend of Khabib's. Here's what Khabib wants: to take the UFC's poster boy out and retire with a 36-0 record. 26-0.
27. Or it would be 27 after this.
The only fight apparently he has any interest in after that is GSP. And other than that, he wants to retire. And the GSP fight is only because of legacy.
You could see something like that happening.
I could.
I still think there's unfinished business, win or lose, with Tony Ferguson.
Apparently he has, and this was again Josh Thompson, his friend, he has no interest. None. Apparently Ferguson is the one out of that trio between him and Pettis. Apparently he has zero interest in Tony, and he says it's because he not only doesn't believe he'd make the fight, but he just thinks it's too easy. It's not a challenge.
Well, I don't know. The lightweight division will certainly be a whole lot clearer after this weekend.
Well,
Tony Ferguson could be there. Pettis could jump the queue. Conor could come out and ice him and continue his reign on to super fights. Khabib could come out, smash him, fight GSP, retire. We will have a clearer picture come Saturday.
Absolutely. So we're both in agreement that Conor McGregor will do fucking Newton with Khabib. However, let us know what you think in the comments down below. It means a lot to us that we've had some great response and a few hilarious troll attempts as well. So keep them up, guys. It's been great. But please do let us know what you think. And the biggest thing that anyone can do to help our channel out and help us grow is to share it with people. So if there's any of your friends or family or gym buddies or anything, anyone that you can think of that would enjoy our content, please send it their way. We're always open to new ideas and new formats, new things you want to talk about. So if there's anything you want to see us talk about, please let us know. Mel, anything to add before we go?
No, just enjoy the fights this weekend. They're going to be good.
Peace.